12 inches is a foot, 3 feet is a yard, and 1,760 yards make 1 mile. Sounds confusing, right? That's the imperial system. Now listen to this. 100 centimeters makes 1 meter, 10 meters make 1 decameter, and then 100 decameters make 1 kilometer. The metric system is so much simpler than the imperial system that the United States uses right now. That's why the United States should adopt the metric system. But wait, wouldn't that be kind of like disowning the United States' heritage, its culture? The imperial system that the US uses is deeply ingrained in our culture and just our everyday life. It's what we use. Well, First off, the imperial system isn't American. It's actually English. And England adopted the metric system a long time ago. In fact, in 1965. Also, it's not strictly American. Myanmar and also Liberia use it. And trying to make the US special by keeping it doesn't make sense, because others use it as well. But it's kind of a sinking ship. But, yeah, it's deeply rooted. We use the imperial system for so many things, even just in our everyday life. But it would be a big change, but there would be very distinct and tangible improvements that would happen if the United States swapped over. First off, global communication would vastly improve. The United States is a really big player in international affairs, and by having a separate unit of measurement than everybody else, it kind of sets them apart, and not in a good way, because it makes things complicated and confusing. In fact, accidents happen because people are doing these conversions. One well-known and kind of awful accident that happened was that NASA lost a $125 million spacecraft because NASA used the imperial system, but the collaborators used the metric system, and there was miscommunication. If both of them used the metric system, which is simpler, it wouldn't have worked out like that, and it would have been a successful mission, and they wouldn't have lost all that money. Also, companies that distribute products, like food, drink, stuff like that, they have to print twice as much as usual, because they have to print for the US separately, and they also have to print internationally. Now, if they printed just with the metric system, they still have to print just as much as if they're selling just as much, but they wouldn't have to put in all the effort of making separate plants and everything like that. Another thing is we're already partway there. The imperial system is really old, and it's kind of antiquated. There are some things that it just can't measure because there's nothing for it. For instance, lux is the metric unit for a wavelength of light. There's no equivalent for that in the imperial system, and so we use that when we measure light, and so we're already partway there. And yeah, it's scary. It would be a huge change, and change is really scary. But I'm sure people have been afraid of other things in the past. Cars, electricity, telephones. But I know I'm happy that those things changed from the way they were, because it's helped us to advance and to move along. So I really do hope that this will change, and soon, just for simplicity's sake.